In the heart of a bustling city where skyscrapers pierced the night sky like jagged dreams, Elena Vargas stepped out of her sleek black limo, her high heels clicking sharply against the cracked sidewalk. It was past midnight, and the board meeting had run long, too long. As the CEO of Vanguard Tech, a multi-billion-dollar empire she'd built from a garage startup, Elena was used to late nights. But tonight, something felt off. The air was thick with tension, the streetlights flickering like hesitant witnesses. She waved off her driver, insisting on a short walk to clear her head before heading home. Little did she know, that decision would thrust her into a nightmare that would change everything. And what happened next? Well, stick around because this story of courage, redemption, and the quiet power of humanity will leave you breathless. If you're hooked already, and I know you are, smash that like button right now and hit subscribe so you never miss another tale that reminds us all why kindness can conquer the darkest corners. Let's dive in. Elena Vargas wasn't just any CEO. At 38, she was a force of nature, sharp-witted, impeccably dressed in tailored suits that screamed power, and driven by a fire forged in the ashes of her past. Orphaned young in a rough neighborhood much like this one, she'd clawed her way up through scholarships, sleepless nights, and sheer willpower. Vanguard Tech revolutionized AI for healthcare, saving lives with algorithms that predicted diseases before they struck. But success came at a cost. Elena had no family, no close friends, only boardrooms and bottom lines. Tonight, after sealing a deal that would expand her company globally, she craved solitude. The limo pulled away, leaving her alone on Elm Street, a forgotten artery in the city's underbelly where graffiti-covered walls whispered secrets of despair. As she walked, her phone buzzed with emails, but she ignored it, breathing in the cool air. That's when she heard them, low chuckles echoing from the alley ahead. 5 figures emerged from the shadows, their hoodies pulled low, chains glinting under the dim light. The street gang, known locally as the Shadow Wolves, ruled this block with iron fists and zero mercy. Led by Rico, a tattooed brute with a scar running down his cheek, they preyed on anyone who looked like they had something to lose. Well, Rico sneered, stepping forward, his eyes raking over Elena's designer coat and diamond earrings. Looks like we got ourselves a fancy lady lost in the wrong hood. Hand over the bling, sweetheart, and maybe we'll let you walk away with your pretty face intact. Elena's heart pounded, but she didn't flinch. Years in cutthroat business had taught her to negotiate under pressure. Listen, guys, she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. I don't want trouble. I've got cash, plenty. Take it and go. She reached for her wallet, but Rico laughed, signaling his crew to circle her. They closed in, blocking her escape, their faces twisted in predatory grins. One grabbed her arm, yanking her phone away. Oh, we're taking more than that, another growled. Panic clawed at Elena's throat, she was surrounded, outnumbered, and utterly alone. Or so she thought. Across the street, in the dim glow of a rundown apartment building, Marcus Hale watched from his second-floor window. A quiet single dad in his early 40s, Marcus was the epitome of unassuming. With tousled brown hair, kind blue eyes hidden behind wire-rimmed glasses, and a frame built more for hugging his daughter than fighting thugs, he blended into the background like wallpaper. By day, he worked as a mechanic at a local garage, fixing cars with steady hands that had once dreamed of being a concert pianist. But life had other plans. 5 years ago, his wife, Lily, died in a hit-and-run, leaving him to raise their daughter, Sophie, alone. Sophie was 8 now, a bright-eyed girl with her mother's laugh and a rare heart condition that required expensive treatments Marcus could barely afford. He scrimped and saved, working overtime, but the bills piled up like unspoken regrets. That night, Marcus was up late, rocking Sophie to sleep after another episode where her tiny chest heaved with labored breaths. He'd just tucked her in when he heard the commotion outside. Peering out, he saw the gang closing in on the woman. His first instinct was to call the police, but in this neighborhood, sirens were as rare as hope. The cops took forever, and by then, it might be too late. Marcus's mind raced. He wasn't a hero, no cape, no muscles, just a man who'd lost too much to stand by and watch someone else suffer. But what could he do? Fight? He'd get pummeled. Run? That wasn't him. Then, an idea sparked, born from the quiet desperation of his own life. He grabbed his old acoustic guitar from the corner, the one Lily had given him on their anniversary, and slipped out the door, heart hammering. Down on the street, Elena struggled as Rico's hand clamped around her wrist. "Please," she whispered, her CEO facade cracking, revealing the scared girl from the streets she'd long buried. The gang laughed, one pulling a knife that flashed menacingly. "Time's up, lady." But then, a soft melody cut through the night, a gentle strumming of guitar strings, followed by a voice, warm and steady, singing an old lullaby. The gang froze, turning toward the sound. There stood Marcus, guitar in hand, walking toward them as if he were strolling through a park. "Hey, folks," he said calmly, his fingers never missing a chord. "Rough night, huh? Mind if I play a tune? It's my daughter's favorite, helps her sleep when the world's too loud." Rico blinked, confused. "What the hell? Get lost, man, before you get hurt." But Marcus didn't stop. He kept playing, his voice rising softly, "Hush little baby, don't say a word." The melody was simple, haunting, weaving through the tension like a thread of light. One of the younger gang members, a kid barely out of his teens named Jax, paused, his grip on Elena loosening. Jax's eyes softened, he remembered his own mom singing that song before she OD'd years ago. Marcus stepped closer, his gaze meeting Rico's without fear. "I know you," Marcus said over the music. "Rico, right? Fixed your mom's old Chevy last month. She said you were a good kid once, before the streets got you." The words hit like a punch. Rico's scar twitched, his mother was the only soft spot in his armored heart. The gang shifted uneasily. Marcus continued, "Life's hard out here. I get it. Lost my wife, raising my girl alone, she's sick, you know. Heart stuff. But hurting this woman? That won't fix anything. It'll just add more pain to the pile." He strummed a chord that echoed with raw emotion, his eyes pleading not with words, but with the quiet strength of a man who'd stared down grief and chosen kindness. Elena watched in stunned silence as the unexpected unfolded. This stranger, this quiet dad, wasn't fighting with fists but with vulnerability. Jax lowered his knife first. "Man, my little sis used to love that song," he muttered. One by one, the others backed off, murmuring excuses. Rico glared, but even he couldn't muster the rage. "You're lucky, freak," he spat, but there was no bite. The gang slunk away into the shadows, leaving Elena trembling but unharmed. She turned to Marcus, tears streaking her makeup. "Why? How did you?" Marcus set down his guitar, shrugging modestly. "Sometimes, a song says what fists can't. Everyone's hurting in their own way. Figured reminding them of that might work better than a brawl." Elena, for the first time in years, felt seen, not as a CEO, but as a person. "Thank you," she whispered. "I don't even know your name." "Marcus Hale," he replied, offering a hand. As they talked under the flickering streetlight, Elena learned about Sophie, the medical bills, the endless worry. Marcus heard about Elena's rise from nothing, her loneliness at the top. A connection sparked, fragile but real. Elena insisted on driving him home, and as they pulled up to his building, she made a promise, "Let me help with Sophie. My company, we have resources." Marcus hesitated, pride warring with need, but nodded. "Only if you let me fix your car sometime. Deal?" That night was just the beginning. Over the following weeks, Elena visited Marcus and Sophie, using Vanguard's tech to connect them with specialists. Sophie's condition improved dramatically with a new AI-monitored treatment plan. In return, Marcus taught Elena to slow down, to play guitar, to laugh without agenda. But challenges loomed. Rico and the gang didn't vanish, rumors swirled of retaliation. Elena's board questioned her distractions, threatening her position. Marcus battled doubts. Could a mechanic and a CEO bridge their worlds? One evening, as Elena dined with Marcus and Sophie in their cozy apartment, a brick shattered the window, a note attached, "Stay out of our turf." Fear gripped them, but Marcus, ever the quiet anchor, gathered them close. "We face this together," he said. Elena, drawing on her business acumen, proposed a bold plan: use her influence to fund a community center, offering jobs and programs to pull kids like Jax from the streets. Marcus, with his local ties, rallied neighbors. Rico, surprisingly, showed up at a meeting, his tough exterior cracking as he admitted the gang life was a dead end. "That song, it reminded me of better days," he confessed. The center opened amid fanfare, transforming the neighborhood. Elena faced down her board, proving that compassion boosted innovation. Vanguard's stock soared with new, human-centered AI initiatives. Marcus found purpose beyond survival, teaching music classes at the center. Sophie thrived, her laughter filling rooms once heavy with worry. Years later, Elena and Marcus stood hand in hand at Sophie's high school graduation, the girl now healthy and vibrant. The street that once nearly claimed Elena's life now bustled with hope. Rico worked as a mentor at the center, his scar a badge of redemption. And so, dear viewers, this story reminds us, heroes aren't always the loud ones with capes. Sometimes, they're the quiet dads with guitars, the CEOs with hidden hearts, the lost souls finding their way. In a world full of shadows, a single act of unexpected kindness can ignite change. If this moved you, and I bet it did, hit that like button, subscribe for more inspiring tales, and share with someone who needs to hear it. Because you never know when your quiet strength might save the day. But wait, let's rewind and dive deeper into how it all began, because every great story has layers. Elena's childhood wasn't just rough, it was a battlefield. Born in a cramped apartment in the same neighborhood, her parents were immigrants scraping by on minimum wage. Her father left when she was 5. Her mother worked 3 jobs until a factory accident took her life when Elena was 12. Foster homes followed, each more unstable than the last. Elena buried her pain in books, excelling in school to escape. By 18, she won a full ride to MIT, majoring in computer science. There, she coded her first AI prototype, a simple diagnostic tool inspired by her mother's untreated illness. That spark became Vanguard Tech. Fast forward to that fateful night, Elena had chosen Elm Street for her walk because it reminded her of her roots, a ritual to stay grounded amid success. But the gang's ambush shattered that illusion. Rico, the leader, had his own scars. Abandoned by his father, raised by a single mom battling addiction, he turned to the streets at 14 for protection and purpose. The Shadow Wolves gave him family, but at what cost? Robberies, fights, a juvenile record that haunted him. That night, he saw Elena as just another mark, a symbol of the world that ignored people like him. Marcus's intervention wasn't random. His wife, Lily, had been a social worker, always believing in redemption. "Everyone has a song in their heart," she'd say. After her death, Marcus clung to that philosophy, playing guitar for Sophie during hospital stays. When he saw the gang, he remembered Lily's stories of de-escalating crises with empathy. Grabbing the guitar was instinctive, a weapon of peace. In the days after, Elena couldn't shake the encounter. She returned to Elm Street, finding Marcus's garage. "I owe you," she said. He waved it off, but Sophie peeked out, her pale face lighting up at the pretty lady. Elena's heart melted. Sophie reminded her of herself at that age, vulnerable yet fierce. She arranged for Vanguard's top cardiologist to consult, covering costs anonymously at first. Marcus discovered it, confronting her gently. "Why help us?" "Because no one helped me," she admitted, tears flowing for the first time in years. Their bond grew amid challenges. Elena's ex-fiancé, a rival executive named Victor, jealous of her success, leaked rumors of her slumming it to the press, painting her as unstable. Board members called emergency meetings, demanding she focus or step down. Marcus faced his own demons. Sophie's treatments required travel, straining his job. Plus, old friends warned him Elena was out of his league. But in quiet moments, picnics in the park, guitar lessons where Elena's fingers fumbled but her spirit soared, they found solace. The brick incident escalated things. Police were useless, citing gang territory. Elena, channeling her CEO resolve, researched community revitalization. She pitched the center to investors, framing it as social impact boosting brand value. Marcus organized town halls, his calm demeanor winning over skeptics. Jax, the young gang member, defected first, inspired by Marcus's song. He brought others, sharing stories of broken homes and lost dreams. Rico's turnaround was the climax. Cornered by rivals, he sought Marcus's help. "I don't want to end up like my old man, dead in a ditch." Marcus listened, offering a job at the garage. Elena funded Rico's GED classes. The center's opening day was triumphant. Kids painted murals, elders shared wisdom, and Sophie played her first guitar solo. As time passed, Elena stepped back from full CEO duties, launching a foundation for underserved communities. Marcus proposed under the same streetlight, guitar in hand. Their wedding was simple, attended by reformed gang members and board execs alike. The inspiring message? Life's unexpected twists reveal our true strength. In vulnerability, we connect. In kindness, we heal. No matter your title or trials, you can be the quiet hero someone needs. So, viewers, if this epic journey touched your soul, like, subscribe, and let's spread more stories of hope. What's your unexpected act of kindness? Share in the comments below. Now, to make this even longer for that 30-minute read-aloud vibe, let's expand on the characters' inner worlds. Elena's days post-incident were a whirlwind. Morning started with coffee and conference calls, but now her mind wandered to Marcus's smile, Sophie's giggles. She visited the apartment often, bringing toys and tech gadgets. One afternoon, Sophie asked, "Are you an angel, Miss Elena?" Elena laughed, but inside, it stirred old wounds. "No, sweetie. Just someone who knows what it's like to feel alone." Marcus's garage became their neutral ground. He'd tinker with engines while Elena paced, venting about corporate politics. "Victor's sabotaging me," she'd say. Marcus, wiping grease from his hands, would reply, then outsmart him. "But don't lose yourself in the fight." His wisdom, born from loss, grounded her. Lily's memory loomed, photos on the walls, stories shared over dinner. Elena felt intimidated at first, but Marcus assured her, "You're not replacing her. You're adding to our story." Sophie's arc was heart-wrenching. Her condition, congenital heart defect, meant frequent checkups. Before Elena, Marcus juggled second jobs, skipping meals to pay bills. Now, with treatments, Sophie bloomed, joining school plays, making friends. But a scare came. During a routine surgery, complications arose. Marcus paced the hospital, guitar forgotten. Elena arrived, holding his hand. "She's strong, like her dad." Sophie pulled through, whispering later, "I dreamed you both were my family." The gang's redemption added layers. Jax became Marcus's apprentice, learning mechanics while opening up about his abusive home. Rico's mom visited the center, tears in her eyes. "You saved my boy." Challenges persisted. A rival gang vandalized the center, but the community rallied, rebuilding stronger. Elena's board battle peaked at a shareholder meeting. Victor presented evidence of her negligence. Elena countered with data. The center inspired employee morale, leading to breakthrough innovations. Profit with purpose, she declared. Victor was ousted, Elena promoted. In the end, as they watched Sophie graduate, Elena reflected, from surrounded by danger to surrounded by love. Marcus whispered, who knew a song could start all this? The message echoes, embrace the unexpected. Your quiet actions can rewrite lives. And there you have it, a tale for the ages. If you're still with me, you're a legend. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. Peace out.